Hey everyone, my name's Dave, and today I want to talk about Wun Two. Every time I hear his music, there's always something unique going on in his mix. And while doom scrolling on Twitter, I came across this tweet and realized that this was a universal sentiment. But it's not just his mixing that makes his track special, so I decided to make a video. First off, he loves doing things that on paper sound ridiculous and wrong, like having his kicks fully in stereo. Spend more than 10 minutes on any mixing tutorial and practically everyone's going to tell you that your bass frequencies should be mono. Usually, this ends up making the track sound cleaner, but the beauty of lo-fi is that it's not trying to sound clean. Let's break this down. So this is what a normal kick looks like. Now, if we play Wun Two's track, you can see how the kick looks nothing like it.
Leave for the biscuit, green knife from the fight, brother coming wicked. I set the party off this like Tango Ray, the funk lord. Nobody else can swing this way.
So how can you achieve this effect? If you happen to be using FL Studio, getting something similar is pretty easy. Just add a fruity stereo shaper and stereo enhancer to your kick, and you'll get something more like this. Two of my favorite Wun Two tracks, Gaius and Winter in Rio, have a very distinct sound to them. I remember trying to remake Winter in Rio. I had all the drums, the sample chops, everything was in place, yet it still sounded so far from the original version. And after trying out different plugins for over an hour, I finally realized that the distinct texture that both of these songs had was due to Bitcrushing. Let me show you. Sometimes, the production choices aren't as contrarian and over-exaggerated as stereo low-end. Sometimes, they're common practice. For example, sidechaining. It's not uncommon to hear a track in which the drums are sidechained to the melodic elements, but what is uncommon is to have the sidechain only affecting the high-end noise. Another technique that Wun Two likes to use to spice up his beats is to add a high-end texture. This can literally be as simple as playing one note on any string instrument, and it will instantly spice up your beat. My personal favorite Wun Two technique is something I like to call ending the loop. Lo-fi is probably the genre that loops the most. Many lo-fi beats will loop the same drum loop and melodic idea for minutes. When done tastefully, this repetition has led me to find myself in a trance-like, introspective headspace. Often, after listening to the same loop for a long time, you begin to categorize certain parts of the loop. You assume that you have the whole picture and that what you hear is the beginning, middle, and end. This is where ending the loop comes in. At the very end of both Winter in Rio and Gaius, Wun Two ends the loop and gives the loop that you've been listening to a whole new meaning. It breaks the notion of what you thought was the whole picture and zooms out, shows you that you were simply being edged without knowing it, while also giving a very cool insight into the track that was sampled and how it was chopped. This technique feels so satisfying to listen to and is my favorite way to hear a track end. It snaps you out of the trance, out of the thought loop, back into consciousness. I love this so much because it can symbolize many different aspects of life. The constant loop reminds me of Sisyphus constantly pushing the rock up just for it to loop again, and the outro feels like Sisyphus finally reaching the peak and rolling the rock down. It feels like a symbol for everyday life and how routine it can feel at times, but it's also a reminder that the ending is just around the corner and a new loop is about to begin. It feels like walking through what appears to be an endless tunnel and finally seeing the light at the end. Whether my interpretation is what Wun Two had in mind when making these tracks is unknown and frankly doesn't matter, and that's the beauty of art.